Hey, this is Corey from Woodcraft, and today we have the Dominion 2.5 person tent. Now this is the Outdoor Vitals first tent. Now I pre-ordered this, so I've had it for quite a while, so I've been able to set it up and try it out in different weather conditions. And there's a lot of things that I really enjoy about this tent, and there's a couple things that I think need a little improvement. So if you want to see what they are, stay tuned. Alright, so we have the Outdoor Vitals Dominion 2.5 person tent. Now that 2.5 person means it's right in the middle of a 2-person tent and a 3-person tent. They claim that some companies would consider this a 3-person tent, but it's way too small to fit 3 people in here, and so I'm going to say that it's a 2-person tent. Now when you have 2 mummy style bags inside this tent, you still have room, you know, and so if you and a friend were to go out, you could probably comfortably share this tent. It's not going to be real snug like most 2-person tents, and so I really like that about this tent. Another thing that I really enjoy is both sides of this tent have a vestibule, and it's right in the front. A lot of tents have like this tunnel that you climb into and turn around, and I don't really like that. I like having access to the side of the tent, I would guess. And these vestibules are very handy. So I can roll this up, and there's just a loop. There's a plastic loop and a toggle. And so you can just toggle that up, and now you can put your gear in here, and you have access, because the main door is right here, to get inside this tent. And so you're not climbing in and turning around, you're just climbing right in. And then if you, like me and Caroline, we don't mind getting close and cuddly so we can both use the same door. But if it was you and your buddy, he would have his own door on his own side, and so you never really have to get in contact with each other, and I really like that. Also, I already did this video. It's one of those that I lost my audio on, and you can actually see me talking through this, because another feature is you can pull this stake, undo this toggle, and you can just keep rolling all the way over here, and then there's another loop and another toggle, and so you can get airflow all the way through this tent. So on those really hot summer days, you can open this vestibule all the way, you can open it on the other side all the way, and that air is just going to flow right through here, and it's really going to cool it down. Okay, and then another feature that is what it is, I guess, is you can take this, close it up, it's got very good zippers, despite what you just saw. It is a very smooth zipper, but the material in the back of this rain fly that protects the zipper is very heavy duty. I really like this. And then it's got another gutter here so that if the rain hits it, it's not coming onto the flap, it's running down. But what that does is there's a secondary zipper here and as you can see, it'll vent. It's supposed to vent, but with this rain flap here, it keeps everything sealed. And so this is another thing that I think they could do without, is this secondary zipper to vent everything. But what it does do is there's a little Velcro thing to Velcro to this pole, and it's nice having that zipper there to do that Velcro. But you could just unzip the whole thing and get at it as well. Another thing that is what it is there's a little Velcro kickstand here. Now I don't know how well that kickstand is going to hold up. We'll have to see over time if this holds up or if it puts a hole where this Velcro is. But it adds more ventilation. So if it is raining, if it's actively raining, it's going to run right off of this, and it's still cooling out and airing out the inside of your tent. So we'll see how that holds up over time, and then it just Velcros all shut. There is a lot of guy outs. There's a guy out on the front of both and on the sides, on both sides. So you can really anchor this thing down. If there's questionable weather coming, you can really anchor this thing down and it ain't going anywhere. Now the pole system is another thing that is what it is. It's one continuous pole. So as you saw me setting this up, it's kind of wonky trying to get that pole set up, and it's kind of wonky trying to get it back into its original form. But that continuous one pole adds a lot of structure to this tent. I've had this thing in a couple storms already, and it's held up very well. Everything stayed dry, everything stayed put, and I really enjoy this tent. I'm really glad that I ordered it. And like I said, I had to get the tent and the footprint separate, but I recommend getting that footprint because it's really gonna hold up over time. You know, it's gonna really protect this tent. Now, there's a couple of things that I don't like about this tent. One of them being the stakes that come with it. Now the stakes that come with the tent are these red aluminum stakes. And I know you can put some cordage through that eyelet, and so they're easier to pull out. But I don't like the way that they hold down the tent. I prefer these titanium shepherd hook style tent pegs because you get 2 points of contact in the ground, and it just secures this tent a lot more. Now, these are the same tent pegs that I use in my hammock setups, and so both my hammock tarps, I use these same tent pegs, and so these are just going to live inside my pack, and I'll use them for my hammock setups and my tent setup. Alright, so now we're on the inside of this tent, and now I really enjoy the space that you get inside this tent. It's got high walls on the sides, so Caroline's actually controlling the camera right now, and I'm able to sit on this side, and there's distance so that we can sit and we can talk. And it's not like most dome shaped tents where the only place you can sit up is in the middle. We're able to sit on opposite ends of the tents and still talk and play cards and do whatever we need to do inside the tent. And then I really enjoy the options that this tent provides. Like up here we have this gear loft. Now this is a very big gear loft that comes with the tent. The only complaint I have about this is if I put my phone and my multi-tool, it sags and you lose that headroom in the middle. But since there's so much on each side, you're able to still sit up and talk and communicate. But you wouldn't want to put a lot of weight into this gear loft. So what me and Caroline do is we use the other option, which these are just toggles and loops to take this off. There's also a loop here, and now this loop is what we have a Lucy light, and so we hang our Lucy light from here to illuminate our tent, but you could hang a lantern or other things from this loop. So even without the gear loft, you still have an option of lighting your tent Or if you need the extra storage, it's just as easy as putting the toggles through the loops and you get the gear loft. Now, since we don't use the gear loft, all of our storage is held on this back wall here. Now these both sides have these same pockets. They're very deep pockets on each side. There's 4 pockets altogether, 2 on this side and 2 on that side. Now I'm able to put my phone, my wallet, my multi-tool, my flashlight, my lighter, and my keys all in this one pocket. And because it's sewn directly onto the wall, it holds everything really well and it doesn't sag. And so I really like this feature. It has my whole EDC in here, no problems whatsoever. And I also have this pocket for anything else I may accumulate or want to tuck up out of the way. And so it's split in half, so you can either have, if like me and Caroline, and this is my half and that's her half, but if I was to be in here with a friend of mine, I could have this half and that half, and he could have this half and this half, and we could completely stay separated. You know, there's a door on each side, so we're not crawling over each other, and there's a pocket for both of us on our own sides, so that we can keep everything separate, keep everything organized and clean. And I really enjoy the options the inside of this tent offers. So let's get outside and finish this up. Alright, so when it comes to the options that they put inside of this tent, plus all the features and options that you get on the outside of this tent is going to become my new go-to tent. I'm super excited that I bought it. I'm super excited to continue to use this tent. I really am a fan. Now, I've already brought up how I'm going to swap out the tent stakes that came with this tent. I'm going to exchange those red ones, those red aluminum ones, for the shepherd hook titanium. Another thing is the bag that came with this tent. It's just a regular bag. It's got a cinch cable with a cord lock, and it's got these cinch buckles on it so that you can compress it, but they only are that wide on the bag. They do that to save weight. But what happened to mine is it blew out the side. It was pulling on the fabric, and it just completely ripped. And so what I suggest for Outdoor Vitals is to either have the webbing go all the way around so that when you cinch it down, it's pulling on itself instead of the fabric of the bag, or just completely leave them off. What I was doing is I had the footprint, the tent pegs, the stakes, everything inside this bag, and I just didn't cinch it tight, and it all fit in here comfortably. And then I'd squeeze the air out of it and throw it in the bottom of my pack, and then it would just compress itself while it was in there. When I did try it out, I had just the tent, the poles, and the stakes in here, and I went to cinch it down, and it did hold, but when I went to pull it out of my pack, that's when I found that it was ripped. But before it even ripped, I had already planned on exchanging this bag out with a 40-liter dry bag. Now this dry bag might be overkill. I might swap it out for a 20-liter depending on how much space it takes up in here. But the benefit to having a dry bag instead of the bag that it came with is if this were to get wet or anything, I plan on using this backpacking. So it's going to spend a lot of time inside of a backpack. And if it's wet or whatever, I can put it inside this dry bag, and it's going to keep that moisture and that water in the bag, and it's going to keep it off of everything else in my backpack. And so I had already planned on swapping out the bag before it even broke, because of the benefit of keeping the mess and the moisture and the water inside here instead of inside my backpack. So that's an upgrade that I made. I also plan on upgrading the tent pegs like I mentioned before. So This tent is awesome. Like I said, it's going to replace everything. This is going to be the one that we use from now on. If you have any questions or any knowledge on this tent, make sure to leave that in the comment section below. I want to hear what your pros and cons are when you look for a two-person tent. Do you look for a lot of room? Do you look for easy access? What is it that makes you purchase the tents that you purchase? Then make sure to like and share these videos to help spread that knowledge to the people we care about most. And as always, don't forget to subscribe and come join the pack. I have a new video every Sunday and Thursday, and I can't wait to see you on the next one. Thanks, guys.